As I told you before, we had already done with the basics, right? You all remember? You all remember discrete variable, continuous variable. Then I taught you what is the meaning of class limit. Ronia, do you remember? You didn't come for the class. Very good. The lower limit, the upper limit. Then I taught you what is actual lower limit, what is actual upper limit. All these things were discussed. Joshua, did you go through all the recorded videos?
Yes, sir. Going through, sir.
Going through. It's been already a week now.
Yes, sir. Going through, sir.
Going through. I know you are going through the 15-minute highlights in YouTube. FIFA World Cup 2022. Isn't it, Joshua?
No, sir. I saw the whole match.
Someday I will get you in my head. I'm supporting you people for getting good marks in maths. Okay. Yeah, supporting. I'm telling, if I come to know from your parents that you people are wasting time watching the whole match, okay, the result will be declared over here in the center. I'm telling you, if you're really crazy about football, watch the 15 minutes highlight. Okay, every important part of the match will be shown in those 15 minutes. No need to waste 90 minutes for that. Are you getting my point? You are saving how much time? 5/6 of the time. 15 by 90 is how much? 1/6, isn't it? So 5/6 of the time you are saving if you're just watching highlights. Okay, the maths teachers are good enough in explaining such things. All right, where is Lima? I can see only Yogita, Ayan, Aaron. Then Anisha, Pooja, Dikshit, Partha, Advait, you all are not visible to me. Devaditya and Joshua. Yeah. Joshua, please call up Darren. Dane.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So these are the things which we covered in the previous session. Lower limit, upper limit, actual lower limit, actual upper limit. Then adding to that, I also taught you one more important factor. What was it? The adjustment factor. Adjustment factors formula was also taught to you. It is the lower limit of the second class interval minus the upper limit of the first class interval whole divided by 2. And then I taught you how to convert the discontinuous class intervals into continuous class intervals, isn't it? So I'm just going on blabbering whatever we did in the previous sessions. Children, it's your responsibility to go through the recorded videos again and again as long as you are thorough with the concepts. All right, many things we had done in the previous session, which comes under the basics. Okay, Ronia, did you watch the recorded video? I'm sure you haven't. All right, let's start with question number. I think this is the first question, children. A very easy one. Pin drop silence I need in the class, okay? Yeah. And online students, please unmute yourself and ask me your doubts then and there itself without any delay. All right, let's start. Given below are the marks obtained by 30 students. So children, the total number of students in this classroom is 30. I'll just write n is equal to 30. All right, n is equal to 30. Now, they want us, they want us taking class intervals 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 41 to 50, make a frequency table for the above distribution. Make a frequency table for the above distribution. I hope you all know what is frequency distribution table because you have done this chapter in school. In case you forgot the concept or in case you forgot how to make the arrangement of the frequencies for each and every class interval, it happens, children. It happens only when you people don't dust your books and read from it. Okay, it's quite natural. So it's a chance to learn it again. Pay attention here and listen to me, okay? Taking class intervals 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 41 to 50. So everything is preset. Everything is preset. They have told you what class intervals you have to take, and for those respective class intervals, you have to figure out the frequencies, isn't it? So children, this is how you prepare a frequency distribution table. A frequency distribution table. Every now and then I will not be using this big phrase, so I'll be using the short form FDT. What is FDT? Frequency distribution table. All right. Now, when you're preparing the frequency distribution table, the first thing that you need to write is the class interval. Usually, class interval is denoted by C dot I. Even in school, they must have used this class interval C dot I. The second one is the column of frequency, and frequency is usually denoted by small letter f. Okay, some teachers use capital letter F, that there is no compulsion for that. Okay, you can use even small letter f. All right. Now, children, let me write down all the class intervals 1 to 10, 11 to 20, then 21 to 30, then 31 to 40, 41 to 50. This is the last class interval. Children, you can listen to me and simultaneously write down the notes also. Don't wait till the end. Okay. I have written the class intervals. Yeah. My first question goes to Steve. Steve, the class interval which I have written here, is it continuous class interval or discontinuous class interval? Discontinuous class interval. Ronia, may I know the reason why Steve said it is discontinuous class interval? Why it is a discontinuous class interval? Why it is a discontinuous class interval? Yes. Why it is a discontinuous class interval? Why it is a discontinuous class interval? Why is it a discontinuous class interval? Why? Because it is why? Why it is a discontinuous class interval? Okay. Very good. Online students, I want Devaditya to answer. Why it is a discontinuous class interval?
Sir,
Huh. Why it is a discontinuous class interval? Answer. Yogita, answer.
So because the lower limit and the upper limit is considered?
The lower limit and the upper limit are same or different in the consecutive
Different.
class intervals. They are different. That's the answer, isn't it? Hello, children. So many times I told you the given class intervals become discontinuous when the upper limit of the first class interval is not matching with the lower limit of the second class interval, isn't it? See this, the upper limit of the second class interval is not matching with the lower limit of the third class interval. Whenever there is a mismatch between the upper and the lower limits of two consecutive class intervals, you call that kind of class interval as what? Discontinuous class intervals. If one more time I ask you this question and you are not able to answer, I'll throw you out of the class. All right? Because I took a lot of effort. 1.5 hour session I took only to teach you this. And still, if you are not able to answer, it's a shame on you guys. Okay? Yeah. Is that clear? This is a discontinuous class interval. My second question goes to Avilash. Avilash, when I say 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and so on, this is a discontinuous class interval. You all have agreed to it, right? So my question to you is, in the first class interval, which is 1 to 10, will the lower limit 1 and the upper limit 10 be considered for counting? Answer me in yes or no. Aaron, be ready with the answer. Not now, I'll ask you. I told you repeatedly that day. Aaron, what was your answer?
So yes, sir.
It will be considered. If it is a discontinuous class interval, then the lower limit and the upper limit values will be considered for counting. Understood? If it is a continuous class interval, then the lower limit will be considered, but the upper limit will not be, Laura? Will not be considered. Are you getting my point? Remove your mask and sit. All three, all four, all five. Yeah. Okay. So this is how it goes. Remember, children, if you don't remember these facts of class intervals, your answer will be wrong. The bottom line is your answer will be wrong. Okay. This is not mentioned anywhere in the textbook. It is not mentioned anywhere in the textbook. Only the teacher can teach you verbally. All right. So please remember. So in 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, when you're considering the first class interval, the number 1 will be counted, the number 10 will be counted. For 11 to 20, the number 11 will be counted, the number 20 will also be counted. Okay, that is the way you have to do the counting. Now, children, these are the numbers to be considered: 8, 17, 33, 41, 47, and so on till here. Till here, 1. So these are the numbers which you have to count. Now, look carefully on the screen and start counting the numbers which comes in the category of 1 to 10. How many numbers are there which comes in the category or in the class interval 1 to 10? Let's start counting it. 4 are there? Okay. So the first number would be, I think, 8. Then start counting from the beginning, children. 9 is there. Achha, 9 is there. Then the third row,
4.
2 is there. And then 1 is there, isn't it? Yeah, 1 will be counted. So the total number of marks which comes in the first class interval 1 to 10 is what? 4. Now, online students, I think Anisha should be answering this. What will come in the next class interval, which is 11 to 20? What comes in the next class interval 11 to 20?
So 17.
17 are there? Okay. You are asking me to count. Okay, 1.
Yes, sir. 17, 20.
Very good. 20 will be counted. Just a minute, Anisha. Sean, shut up. I mean, be silent. Okay. Will 20 be counted? Sean, the question is to you. Will 20 be counted? Yeah. Why? Because 11 to 20 is a discontinuous class interval. So both the numbers 11 and 20 are considered for counting in that class interval 11 to 20. Right? So 17, 20. Yeah. Continue, Anisha.
Yes, sir. 18.
Very good.
14.
Very good.
19.
Good.
11.
Good.
16 and 15.
16 and 15. What are the numbers? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total 8 are there? Okay, fine. So I'll write here 8. Okay. Now 21 to 30. Ronia will count. Ronia, count. 21 to 30. First number. 23. All right. 23. Then 30. Very good. 3. 24. 24. Answer. 22. 21. That's it. That's it. So how many are there? 5 are there. All right. So there are total 5 numbers which comes in the class interval 21 to 30. The next one will be counted by Vani. The next is 31 to 40, Vani.
Sir, it is 6, sir, not 5.
Oh, total 6 are there?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, yeah, 6 are there. Yeah, thank you. There are total 6. Now, 31 to 40. Yes, Vani, start counting. 33. 33, 34. All right. 36. Avilash, will 40 be counted? Yes. Okay. 40 be counted. No, Vani? 31 to 40. Yeah. The next one is 32, 33. All right. So how many are there? 2, 4, and 6. All right. So total 6 are there. The last class interval is 41 to 50. All right. 41 to 50. So who is going to count it? Avilash count. 41. 47. Where did you find 48? Over here. All right. All right. So how many are there? Again 6. Okay. So there are 6. Children, I want you all to take a count of the total number of frequencies. Tell me first. How many? 30 are there? Sure. Because 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. 24 and 30. Isn't it? Yeah. Now let me show you something here. Children, how many students had appeared in the examination? 30 students. And all the 30 students' marks have been mentioned in this frequency distribution table, isn't it? So the 4 students' marks come in the category 1 to 10. 8 students' marks comes in the category 11 to 20. 6 students' marks are coming in the class interval 21 to 30. Again, 6 students in 31 to 40. And again, 6 in 41 to 50. So 4 plus 8 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. All the 30 students' marks are highlighted in the frequency distribution. Okay. All right. This part is clear. Children, if you don't know the basics, no, if the lower limit, upper limit is counted or not, you will go wrong in this sum. Isn't it? It's very important. Vani, is it clear? Pooja, is it clear? Ayan? All right. Joshua, your video is off. The next is sum. Joshua, where is Dane?
So I messaged him, sir. I called him also, not picking up the call.
All right. Let's do question number 3. The marks of 24 candidates in the subject maths are given below. All right. There are how many candidates? 24. So the total number of students in this frequency distribution table has to be 24. Their marks are right in front of you. Now, children, they are asking us to create an FDT with these class intervals 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and so on. If you notice, children, there is a variety or there is a small change in the question when compared to the previous one. In the previous one, they had given you start with 1 to 10, then 11 to 20, and end with what? 41 to 50. But in the second question, have they given you the last class interval or the last class interval with which you have to end the FDT? No. Have they given it? Have they given it in the question? No. Isn't it? They just told you arrange or make an FDT with the class intervals 0 to 10, then 10 to 20, then 20 to 30, and so on. But did they ever mention what should be the last class interval? No. But exactly, children. The maximum marks is what? 50. Isn't it? The maximum marks is 50. So children, what should be probably the last class interval? 40 to 50. Isn't it? I'm talking about the class interval, children. So you are preparing the class interval here. The first class interval is 0 to 10. So what is the significance of this class interval 0 to 10? It shows the marks from 0 till 10. Isn't it? 0 to 10 is not showing the number of students, children. 0 to 10 is what? The marks scored by the students. Okay, I'll show it here in much detail. What is the maximum marks, children? 50 marks. Now 50 marks can be divided into 5 different intervals if you want, like this. The first interval is 0 to 10. The second interval is 10 to 20. Third interval is 20 to 30. Fourth interval is 30 to 40. And the last interval is 40 to 50. Now, children, I'll give you a very simple and a real life example. How do we teachers divide these marks into class intervals? Once your midterm paper is over, your teacher will come to distribute the papers, isn't it? After the paper distribution is done, the first question that usually a maths teacher will ask is, I don't know about the other subject teachers, but the maths teachers will ask this. How many of you got between 0 and 10? How many of you got between 10 and 20? How many of you got between 20 and 30, 30 and 40, and 40 and 50? And then those students who got between 40 and 50, they'll be getting a huge round of applause. Isn't it? That's the usual scenario in a maths class, isn't it? So children, knowingly or unknowingly, you are actually learning the concept of class limits, isn't it? You are learning the concept of class limits or the class intervals, right? So this happens in real life also. Okay, so remember children, this 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30 and so on, it does not represent the students. It represents the marks the students have scored. Are you getting it? So when I'm writing the class interval 0 to 10, then 10 to 20, 20 to 30, I'm trying to figure out the number of students who are scoring in this range. The number of students who are scoring in this range. So when I am writing the column of frequency next to class interval, I'm just telling you in 0 to 10 class interval, how many students are accommodated. In the class interval 10 to 20, how many students are accommodated, and so on. Understood? So class interval, which I have written here, it represents marks. For your reference, just mention it, children, for your reference. Here, the class interval represents the marks which the students are scoring, and the frequency represents the number of students which come in a particular class interval. All right, so here you can write number of students. Any doubt, please pause and ask me, okay? Fine. Now let's start taking the count. My first question goes to Sarah. Sarah, in the class interval 0 to 10, will 0 be counted? Will 10 be counted? No, very good. Because this class interval is a continuous class interval. And in continuous class intervals, the lower limit is always counted, but the upper limit is never counted. Okay, so be careful when you are counting the number of students for the class intervals. Let's start for 0 to 10. Is there anybody who scored 0? Yeah, 1. The name is written over there, Steve. Then 3, yes. Then 2, and then 3. Total, how many are there? 4 are there. All right. So there are total 4 students who are scoring in the class interval 0 to 10. Easy. Let's find out the number of students who are scoring in the range of 10 to 20. All right. In the first row, anybody? 11 is there? No, yeah.
15 also, sir.
11, 12.
Sir, in first row, third one, 15.
Oh, I forgot 15. All right. Thank you so much. Wait. I'll use a different ink. Yeah. 15, then 11, then 12, then 18, then again 15, 11, and then that's all. All right. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So the number of students are 6. Then 20 to 30 children. Let me use a different ink. Yeah. 20 to 30. So I think 23. Then 30 will be counted?
No, sir.
No. Very good. Very good. Perfect. Then 29. Yes. Then
23, sir.
23. That's all? Male or no? So 20 to 30, how many are there? 3 are there. Very good. Now let's count for 30 to 40. All right, 30 to 40. This time 30 will be counted because 30 is the lower limit, isn't it? Yeah. Then 30, 35, 40 will be counted? No, very good. Then again 30. All right, again 30. All right. Anything else? 30 to 40. Yeah, only these many are there. No, 4. Okay. Let's do for the last one, 40 to 50. Children, 40 to 50. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, then 4. 50 will be counted? No. All right. Then 42 and then 44. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. 6. Now just a minute, huh, children? If you notice, we missed out on this one number 50. Isn't it? We missed out on this one number 50 because we couldn't accommodate that number 50 in the class interval 40 to 50. 50 being the upper limit. So children, is that a matter of tension for you? I don't think so. Array children, why can't you create one more class interval here, which is 50 to 60, isn't it? Is there any restriction? No. Do you have to pay any extra money for that? No. Then create a class interval 50 to 60 and you will just add 1 over here. Because in the class interval 50 to 60, there is only one person who has scored full marks. That is 50 itself. Understood? Laura, is it clear? All right. Now I request you all to add the frequencies and it has to be exactly equal to 24. Just check. 24? Very good. So your answer is correct. All the 24 students have been arranged into the different class intervals. Laura, is it clear? Fine. All right, children. So the next is sum. Very good. Partha, Mayur, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Find
Yes.
the actual. Oh, good. Keep the cameras on, okay? Find the actual lower class limits, upper class limits, and the mid values of the classes. Children, actual lower class limit. Here they missed the word actual. Actual upper class limit. And then the mid values of the classes. What was the name given to mid values? Steve will answer. There is a particular term which we use for mid values. What is the name? What is it? What is it? You will have mark on your head. You will go like this. What is it? Oh, there is another name given to it. Who is going to answer it? Pooja.
So Dane is in area meeting prayer, sir.
Okay, no problem. Here was the recorded video. Pooja, what was the name given to mid value? Koladi. Nanachini out irunna keto. Vani. Exactly. Children, it is known as class mark. Isn't it? Anisha, do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Class mark. The mid values. Remember, children, at any point I'll ask you this. All right. So let's find the actual lower class limit, actual upper class limit. Now I will ask you multiple questions, you wait. So these are the class intervals given: 10 to 19, 20 to 29, then 30 to 39, and then 40 to 49. They are asking you to find the actual lower and the actual upper limits. My first question goes to Hemant. Hemant, what was the situation in which I taught you the concept of actual lower limit and actual upper limit? What was the situation? Online students, please be ready with the answer. Okay. Very
Sir,
good.
can you repeat the question?
The question is, what was the situation or the scenario in which I taught you the concept of actual lower limit and actual upper limit. What was the scenario, Yogita? I told you, this is the scenario where you will come across the terms actual lower limit, actual upper limit. What was the scenario? Think and answer. Online student.
Continuous to continue.
Very good. Yogita, forgot, huh? What? You shouldn't get confused. You shouldn't get confused. Exactly, Advait. Very good, Advait. You can answer in your own way, no children. Where am I asking you to repeat the same sentences which I use in the class? You give your answer in your own words, just that the meaning should match. That's all I want. All right. Advait, very good. Now listen. The scenario in which you use the concept of actual lower and actual upper limit is when you have to convert the discontinuous class intervals into continuous class intervals. All right. So children, what kind of class intervals are given to you? What class intervals are they? Hemant, continuous or discontinuous class intervals? Discontinuous class intervals, nobody has any doubt in that because the upper limit is 19, the lower limit is 20, right? So that itself states that the class intervals are discontinuous. Now children, if my question was for this given class intervals, what is the lower and the upper limits? You would have answered 10 is the lower limit, 19 is the upper limit, 20 is the lower limit, 29 is the upper limit, and so on and so forth, isn't it? But children, the moment they asked you to find actual lower and actual upper limits, they want us to first convert this discontinuous class interval into what? Continuous class interval. Once you convert it into continuous class interval, you can predict what are the actual lower and actual upper limits. Understood? Yeah. Laura, how do we convert the discontinuous into continuous class intervals? What method do we use? Oh, I don't have time to waste. The moment I ask you a question, within seconds, I need the answer. Yeah. There is a name, there is a particular factor which we use. What is the name of that? Online students, answer me in the chat box. How do we change discontinuous class intervals into continuous class intervals? Very good. Adjustment factors. Ayan has given it, Dishit has given it, Yogita, Partha, Aaron, Advait, Ayan, very good. Very good, children. Very good, very good. I'll fry you guys. Trust me. Children, we have to use the concept of adjustment factor, which is represented with small letter a, isn't it? And adjustment factor is found by the lower limit of the second class interval minus the upper limit of the first class interval divided by 2. Please make a note of this. In the next class, if I ask you this and you are not able to answer, please get out of my class. Okay? L minus U divided by 2. So children, let me find the adjustment factor here. The lower limit of the second class interval is what? 20 minus the upper limit of the first class interval is what? 19. So 20 minus 19 divided by 2. How much is 20 minus 19? 1. So 1 by 2, which is equal to 0.5. Did you all get the adjustment factor? 0.5. Vani, understood? Oh. ഒന്നും പഠിക്കുന്നില്ല എൻ്റെ കുഞ്ഞിന് ചുമ്മാ കറങ്ങി അടിച്ച് നടക്കുമല്ലേ. All right. Now, how do we use adjustment factor? Who will answer it? Online students, parents. Parents, where are you now? Andinodu പറഞ്ഞിട്ടായിരുന്നു പോയത്. Parents?
Yes, sir.
പറയണം. How do we use the adjustment factors? Great. Parents, keep the camera on first of all. Joshua, keep the camera on.
So can't you see me, sir?
No. Otherwise, you just answer me. Yeah. How do we apply the adjustment factor? You don't know, right?
I'm not sure, sir.
All right, no problem, no problem. Let Joshua answer this question. Joshua, you know the answer or not?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Then Mayur will answer.
Don't know, sir.
Very good. Anisha.
Can I tell, sir?
Yes, Partha.
Sir, we have to subtract the lower limit by the adjustment factor, and we have to add the adjustment factor to the higher limit.
Upper limit. Very good. That's how I need answers. Very good, Partha. Children, what is the first class interval? 10 to 19, isn't it? So you are supposed to subtract the adjustment factor and add the adjustment factor to the lower and the upper limit. I repeat, children, you're supposed to subtract the adjustment factor from the lower limit and add the adjustment factor to the upper limit. Don't forget, children. Array, once for 15 minutes you watch my recorded sessions, you can answer these questions. You know, so simple they are.
Sir, can you repeat what is it?
Yes. Who is it?
Sir, what is it again? Sir, I couldn't hear properly.
Terence, subtract the lower limit from the, subtract the adjustment factor from the lower limit and add the adjustment factor to the upper limit. What is the lower limit here? 10 to, the lower limit was 10, upper limit was 19, isn't it? Subtract the adjustment factor from the lower limit. So 10 minus 0.5, which will give you 9.5. What is 19 plus 0.5? It is 19.5. Understood? So the first class interval has become 9.5 to 19.5. Easy? Followed it? Hemant,
Sir, and then
Rehan?
you have to add adjustment factor to the upper factor, right?
Exactly.
Okay, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
Sir, we have to write 10 minus 0.5, or can we write directly 9.5, sir?
Directly, man. Directly. I am teaching you the concept, so I am writing it. You people can do it in your mind. No, it's easy calculation. Now for the second, third, and fourth, I'm not going to write it. I'm just going to do it in my mind. Rehan will answer. The second class interval become. Very good. 20 minus 0.5, which is 19.5. And the upper limit will become, Sarah. 29.5. Does that make sense, children? I subtracted the adjustment factor from the lower limit. So 20 minus 0.5 is what? 19.5. I added the adjustment factor to the upper limit. That is 29 plus 0.5, which becomes 29.5. Ronya will answer the next. The next class interval will be. Very good. 29.5. And here, 39.5. Very good. And here, children, 39.5 and 49.5. Did you notice that this continuous class interval has got converted into a continuous class interval? See this, children, if you have a doubt. Upper limit 19.5, lower limit 19.5. Isn't it? One, is it clear? Upper limit 29.5, lower limit is 29.5. And it goes on like that. So the class interval is what? Continuous now. Now, once you do this, you can figure out what are the actual lower limits and actual upper limits. Understood, Vani? I'll talk to you after the class. Yeah. So, children, for the first class interval, the actual lower limit, all. Okay. actual lower limit will be 9.5 and the actual upper limit AUL will be what? 19.5. For the second class interval, Yogita, is it clear now? Yogita,
Yes.
is it clear now? All right. For the second class interval, the actual lower limit will be what? 19.5 and the actual upper limit will be 29.5. Similarly, for the third class interval, the actual lower limit will be 29.5 and the actual upper limit will be how much? 39.5. And it goes on like that, children, in a sequence. All right, it's very simple. Now, we also need to find the class mark. How to find the class mark? I had taught you this. Who is going to answer it? Online students, I can ask this question to chalo, Ayan. Ayan will answer. Ayan, how will I find the class mark or the
Take
mid
the
value?
average, sir.
Taking the average. Very good. Very perfect way of answering it. Taking the average. Ayan, Sean, average of what? You tell me what is the class mark of the first class interval 9.5 to 19.5. Yeah, tell me. Very good. The class mark for the first class interval 9.5 to 19.5 will be the average of the lower limit and the upper limit. Please remember this. The lower limit is what? 9.5. Upper limit is what? 19.5. Take the average of these two. 9.5 plus 19.5 is how much? 30? Hello? Or 29? 29.
29, sir.
Exactly.
29,
29 divided by 2. How much is 29 by 2? It is
14.5.
14.5. So 14.5 will become the class mark or the mid value of the first class interval. All right. The next one, the class mark CM of the second class interval, which is 19.5 to 29.5. Let's do this. How will you find the average of the lower and the upper limit? So 19.5 plus 29.5 whole divided by 2. How much is the sum of these two? 39? I think it is 39. And what is 39 divided by 2? It is 19.5. Easy. Ronnie, is it clear?
Sir, it is 49, sir.
So it's 49? Oh, it's my mistake. All right, so we'll start, do it. 49 divided by 2. How much is 49 divided by 2? 24.5. Exactly, Dikshit, 24.5. Very good. So on, you can find the class mark of all the remaining class intervals. All right, was it easy? Shall we move on to the next sum? Find the actual lower and the upper limit.
The
and
class
also
mark is equal to?
class marks what?
The class mark is equal to?
For which question? The second interval.
Yes, sir.
24.5.
Okay, sir.
Similar kind of question, but the values are slightly different. What are the class intervals? 1.1 to 2.0. The second one is 2.1 to 3.0. And the third one is 3.1 to 4.0. All right. So children, since you have to find the actual lower and the actual upper limits, you have to first of all convert this into a continuous class interval, isn't it? Yeah, this is discontinuous, children. See this, here it is 2.0, here it is 2.1. Very clear, it is discontinuous. Let's find the adjustment factor and then convert this into a continuous class interval. All right. Eamon, can you help me with this? Find the adjustment factor for me. I is equal to, tell me what is it? Lower limit, upper limit, yeah. Very good. 2.1 minus 2.0 whole divided by 2, isn't it? How much is 2.1 minus 2.0? Yes, Hemant. How much is 2.1 minus 2? What is 2.1 minus 2.0? It is 0.1, isn't it? Hemant there. 0.1 divided by 2. Achha, Sean, what is 0.1 divided by 2? Online students, please text me the answer. 0.1 divided by 2. I'll stop teaching if you don't give me the answer. 0.5. Achha. Partha, everyone.
Sir, should I say the answer?
Partha, Aaron, very good. 0.05, isn't it? Hello, children, I'm asking you to do this.
0.05, sir.
Very good. 0.1 divided by 2. You first put a 0 and a decimal point. 1 is not divisible by 2, so you put a 0 over here and a 0 over here, isn't it? Then 2 into 5 will give you a 10 and then a 0. So the answer is what? 0.05. So children, the adjustment factor is 0.05. Got it? Now let's convert the class interval into a continuous one. Okay, continuous class interval. So what is 1.1 minus 0.05? 1.05. Children, you can do this, or you should be doing this in your mind, because for such silly calculations, you can't waste time during the exam, isn't it? So at home, you have to rigorously practice. Okay, even I find it difficult to handle decimal numbers. Okay, it's just because of my regular teaching every year, I'm a little comfortable with that. But you people never come across these kind of calculations on a regular basis, right? So that is the reason you find it difficult. So since you know you are going to come across such situations in the exam, please do practice at home. There is no other way, okay? What is 2.0 plus 0.05? It is 2.05, okay? Now, 2.1 minus 0.05 is what? 2.05. And here it will be 3.05. Then 3.1 minus 0.05 is what? 3.05. And here it should be 4.05. Is that easy? Yeah. Ronya, what will be the actual lower and the actual upper limit for the first class interval? Tell me, Ronya, now there is nothing to teach in this. I've already converted the class interval into continuous, right? I'm asking you, This will be the actual lower limit and this will be the actual upper limit. That's all, isn't it? For the first class interval, 1.05 is the actual lower, 2.05 is the actual upper. Similarly, for the second class interval, 2.05 is the actual lower and 3.05 is the actual upper, and it goes on like that in a sequence. Okay, easy. Now children, one last point which you have to do, that is finding the class mark. All right, who is going to help me? Devaditya? Wait, Devaditya, Dikshit. Tell me, Dikshit, what is going to be the mid value or the class mark or the first class interval? Dikshit, can you hear me? Pooja, keep the camera on. Very good. Dikshit, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is the class mark of the first class interval? 1.05 to 2.05. 1.5?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 1.5.
1.5. All right. You just need to find the average of the lower and the upper limit. So 1.05 plus 2.05 divided by 2. How much is the sum of these two numbers? 3.10, isn't it? 3.10 divided by 2. What is 3.10 divided by 2?
1.55.
1.55. This will be the class mark or the mid value of the first class interval. Children, you people are in class 9 now. I don't have to teach you divisions, isn't it? Do it on your own. Similarly, you have to find the class mark of the second and the third class intervals. All right. Let's do the next sum. Here is the question. Just give me 2 minutes, children. I'll drink some water. My question is, what should I be doing as my first step? They are asking you to find the actual class limits of the fourth class, isn't it? What kind of class intervals are given to you? Discontinuous class interval, because the upper limit and the lower limit are not matching, isn't it? Online students, listen to this part, okay? The upper limit and the lower limit are not matching, hence you cannot find the actual lower and actual upper limits. So what should be my next step? Convert the given discontinuous class interval into continuous class interval, isn't it? Ronia, what do we need to do for that? For converting a discontinuous into a continuous class interval. Adjustment factor. Help me to find the adjustment factor. A is equal to, give me the value directly. 30, 30, 30. Nobody will help us. Yeah. 30 minus. 30? 35 minus. Nobody will open their mouth. 35 minus 34. Then divided by 2. So 35 minus 34 is what? 1. And 1 divided by 2 is how much? 0.5. So this is your adjustment factor, isn't it? Now let's write the continuous class interval. The continuous class interval. All right. The first class, children, they are asking you to find the actual class limit of the fourth class, isn't it? So let's focus only on the fourth class. Why we need to simply do from the beginning? Only for the fourth class interval, we have to find the actual lower and the actual upper limit, isn't it? You have already got the adjustment factor. Let's subtract and add the adjustment factor to the lower and the upper limit. What is 45 minus 0.5? It is 44.5. And what is 49 plus 0.5? It is 49.5. So can't I say the actual lower limit is 44.5 and the actual upper limit is 49.5. Is that easy for all? Easy, children. Yeah. The next question. Pooja, Anisha, did you all follow it?
Yes, sir.
Clear, no? Then Devaditya, Joshua, Mayur, Aaron, Dikshit, Ebi,
Yes.
things are clear, right? Okay,
Yes,
quite
sir.
easy. Yeah. Then let's do the next one. Still in the class boundaries of the sixth class. The class boundaries of the sixth class. Now, when you are talking about the class boundaries, children, remember, we have to figure out what is the actual lower limit and actual upper limit. That happens to be the class boundaries. If you think class boundaries is something new, then you are wrong, children. Class boundaries and class limits or class intervals, they are the same thing. All right. So here, okay, class boundaries. So children, the sixth one is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Acha, this is the sixth one. No, let's apply the adjustment factor here. 55 minus 0.5 will be 54.5. 59 plus 0.5 will be what? 59.5. The class boundaries or the class intervals is what? 54.5 to 59.5. Easy. The next one, the class mark of the third class. Children, the third class is what? 40 to 44. But remember, children, you have to first of all convert this into what? Continuous class intervals. And then you have to find the class mark, isn't it? Let's do it. So I'll just erase this and write the actual lower and the actual upper limit. 40 minus 0.5 is what? 39.5. 44 plus 0.5 is 44.5. Now we are finding the class mark. So class mark will be the average of 39.5 and 44.5. Let's do it. What is the sum of these two numbers? 39.5 plus 44.5 is how much? 84. Sure, no?
84, sir.
84 divided by 2 is how much? Very good. 42. So the answer is 42. Easy. Okay. The last one, sorry, the fourth one, the upper and lower limits of the fifth class. Then they are asking you only the upper and the lower limits, not the actual lower and actual upper limits, isn't it? Huh? Fifth class, which is the fifth class over here, 50 to 54. So the lower limit will be what? 50, and the upper limit will be what? 54. Are you getting the difference? Children, see this. 50 to 54 is the fifth class interval. They did not ask you to find the actual lower and the actual upper limit. Only if they ask you to do so, you will go to the column of continuous class intervals. Are you getting it? If they are simply asking you to find the lower and the upper limit, what will be your answer? The lower limit is 50 and the upper limit is 54. That's all. Okay. Was that easy? All right.
Sir,
Then the
but
last
in that question first they had asked upper limit, no sir. Should we write 54 or only 50, sir?
upper, come again.
Sir, in the D question D, they have asked first upper limit, no sir. So should we write 54 by 50 or only 50 by 54?
No, you will write it this way. The lower limit is equal to 50 and the upper limit is equal to 54. This is how you will write it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Then last one, children, the size of the third class. The size of the third class, which is the third class, 45 to 49, isn't it? Okay. The size they are asking you, children. First time you're going to find the size of a class. Okay. This is the third class which they are talking about, 40 to 49. Children, size means then 40 to 44 it is. Okay. My mistake. 40 to 44. What is the class size? Very simple it is, children, to find the class size. 40 to 44, isn't it? Children, in the textbook, they have given you a ready-made formula. U minus L plus 1. If you want to follow this formula, you can follow it. But along with by-hearting this formula, let me teach you the logic also. Why they have given upper limit minus lower limit plus 1. Very simple it is. So what is this class interval? 40 to 44, isn't it? They are asking you to find the class size. Now let me explain the meaning of this term, class size. Imagine, children, you have students in your class from roll number 1 to 10. What is your class size? Imagine you have students from roll number 1 to 10. What is your class size? 10. Isn't it? How did you get that answer? I said roll number 1 to 10, isn't it? What is the upper limit? 10 minus. What is the lower limit? 1 plus what? 1. 10 minus 1 plus 1 is what? 10. Are you getting it? Suppose, children, you have students in your class where the roll number is from 1 to 37. Can you tell me how many students are there? 37. How did you get this answer? It's upper limit minus lower limit plus 1, which is again equal to 37. All right. Now I have a question for you. Think properly and answer it. Okay. Suppose your class teacher is a very crazy person and he or she gives the roll numbers of your students from 8 to 54. Now, can you tell me what is your class size? Think and answer. I am not in a hurry to get the answer. Think and answer. Only one answer I should get from your mouth.
47, sir.
40? Sean, I told you only one answer.
47.
47? How much? 47. Yes, right? 47? All right. Anish also 47. Pooja, Ayan? 47?
Yes, sir.
47. All right. What about Yogita, Devaditya? 47?
Yes, sir.
All right. So children, you can find the answer by using this formula: upper limit 54 minus lower limit 8 plus 1. 54 minus 8 is what? 46. 46 plus 1 is what? 47. So the number of students in your class is 47. Now this was using the formula, but how did this formula come into existence? Let me teach you that. Okay, children, when I say the roll number of the students in your class is from 8 to 54, please remember, you are counting this child whose roll number is exactly 8, isn't it? So the child who has got the roll number 8 has to be counted, isn't it? Now children, 9 and 10, 2 more students, right? Then from 11 to 54, 11 to 20 is how many students? 11 to 20, 10 students, 21 to 30, 10 students, 31 to 40, 10 students, and then 40 to 50, 10 students, 51 to 54, how many students? 4 students. You take a count of this, you will get the same answer, which is 47. See this? 1 plus 3, 1 plus 2, 3, then 13, 23, 33, 43, and 47. Are we getting the same answer? Yes. So children, usually what people do, you know, I'm talking about the mistake that people do is, in order to find the number of students, they will do only this 54 minus 8, which is equal to 46. Is this answer correct? No, it is wrong. Because they forget to add the student whose roll number was exactly 8. Okay? Whose roll number was exactly 8. So that is why people do mistakes. So children, in the examination, you can't sit and do these calculations, no 1 plus 2 plus 10 plus 20, isn't it? So what we do, in order to save our time, we learn this basic formula, which is upper limit minus lower limit plus 1. We just do this and you get the answer. All right. So here, the size of the class has to be found, where the class interval is what? 40 to 44. So children, how will you do it? Upper limit 44 minus lower limit 40 plus 1. 44 minus 40 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is what? 5. Am I clear with this? Huh? U minus L plus 1. In the next session, I'll be asking you this question. Pada pada pade, I will be giving you also, if you don't answer my questions. Okay. Rehan, today the ring saved you. All right. Very good, children. Take a 5-minute break and then we will come back and solve the remaining sums. All right. Now the time is 7:06. We will come back by 7:11. Okay. Yeah. Chapter number 24. The topic name is what? Ogive. The other name of ogive is what? Cumulative frequency curve. So whatever you are learning in class 9, cumulative frequency distribution table is going to be copy pasted in class 10 also. At that time, nobody is going to spend a lot of time explaining these concepts. Whatever you want to learn in depth, learn it today. All right. So let's start. Did you all note it down? Chapter 24, ogive, cumulative frequency curve in class 10. Rehan, did you note it down? What is the meaning of the word cumulative? What is the meaning of the word cumulative? Online students, can somebody answer this? Cumulative. You people are ICSE students. Your English must be so strong. Tell me, what is the meaning of cumulative? Yeah. Yogita, any idea? Cumulative. At least in school, your math teacher must have told you this is the meaning of cumulative. What is it? The way you are shaking your head, I thought, you know, your answer was going to pour out. Yes, Sean. All right. Okay. Children,
So
I
something
just
like
asked, what is it? Yes, Joshua. Joshua, tell me.
something like successive addition or increasing or something.
Something related to what? Addition. That's what you said?
No, sir, increasing, sir.
Increasing, yeah, that's a very good point. Very good. Very good. Partha, Devaditya, Ayan, Dikshit.
Total class.
What is it, Mayur?
Total class.
Total class.
Yes, sir.
Total, yeah. You have used the word total, so it's fine. Yeah. You're very close to it. What is it? Sum of the frequencies, all right. Total sum frequency, very good. All right, all right. Rehan, Hemant, any suggestions? Cumulative? Okay. Now I will give you my own explanation. Okay. Nothing related to maths. Related to your real life. Children, listen to this sentence which I'm framing. Okay. The result which you get in the final examination is the result of your cumulative efforts throughout the year. Okay, understood, children? What is the meaning of cumulative? The end result which you get, it's based on the cumulative efforts which you make throughout the year. That means throughout the year, in an year, 365 days are there, isn't it? In those 365 days, every day, how much ever effort you put, it gets accumulated, and then it gives you the final outcome. That is the meaning of cumulative or cumulated. That means it gets on piling up, and one fine day you will get the end result. All right. Almost all your teachers may be saying this. Start studying from the beginning. Don't wait till the end moment. Then only you will get good results. Children, there is a very valid and logical point behind it. Because every day matters in your academic year, isn't it? So you start preparing from day one. By the time you are going to sit for the board or the final examination, you will be thoroughly prepared for the paper, isn't it? And that's one major reason why the students who prepare right from the beginning get better results compared to the other students who do the last minute studies. That's the one major reason behind it. Okay. So anyways, I am talking something which is out of context, but somewhere you can relate it with the word cumulative, isn't it? Cumulative is all about, piling up, children, piling up, one after the other. All right. So you just need to have an overview of the word cumulative, and then you can apply it in this concept of cumulative frequency distribution. Children, here they have given you the class interval 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, and so on. Children, I do agree that, this class interval is what? Discontinuous class interval. This class interval is what? Discontinuous class interval. No problem. Then, they have given you the frequencies for each and every class interval. The first class interval 1 to 10 has got how many people? 12 people. 11 to 20, 18 people. 21 to 30, 23 people. Now, children, when they ask you to prepare the cumulative frequency distribution table, you just need to do one more addition of a column. That is the column of cumulative frequency. This is all that you have to do. When they ask you to prepare a cumulative frequency distribution table, you just need to add one more column, which is for cumulative frequency. You must be asking me a question, or you must be having a question in your mind. Why, sir, only one more extra column? Hey, children, did you notice this? Frequency distribution table is something which we have been dealing with all this while in FDT. Do you agree with this? Frequency distribution table is something which we have been dealing all this while throughout the session. Adding to that frequency distribution table, one extra word is given to you, cumulative, isn't it? So in order to find the cumulative frequency distribution table, along with the given two columns, you just need to add one more extra column, and that one extra column will be for cumulative frequency. Are you getting it, children? All this while, we have been dealing with only frequency distribution table, where the second column used to be for the frequency. Now what we are going to do, we are going to prepare a cumulative frequency distribution table, CFDT. So the extra column which you are going to add is for what? CF, that is cumulative frequency. Am I simple enough to make you understand this concept? Some children find it very difficult to understand the difference between FDT and CFDT. Okay, FDT is all about frequency distribution table. CFDT is what? Cumulative frequency distribution table. That is, frequency is given, you just need to add one more extra column for cumulative frequency. Are you getting it, children? That is the main reason that I created a separate column for CF or cumulative frequency. Okay, now I'm going to create the column, children. I'm going to write down the values inside the column for cumulative frequency. As I told you, what is the word meaning of cumulative? Piling up, piling up, piling up, isn't it? So children, here what are we supposed to pile up? Frequencies, isn't it? Cumulative frequency. What am I asking you to pile up? I'm asking you to pile up frequencies. Understood my point? I am asking you to pile up frequencies. So children, the first column or the first class interval was having what? A frequency of 12. Initially, or in the first class interval 1 to 10, I'm having a frequency of 12. All right. Now, in the second class interval, how much is the frequency? It is 18, isn't it? So over here, what should be the cumulative frequency? Remember, children, cumulative means piling up. Piling up of what here? Frequencies. Already in the first class interval, 12 was there. For the second class interval, how much it will be? Already 12 was existing plus 18 in the second class interval.
Yes, sir.
How much is 20 plus 18? 30. You piled up the frequency of the first class interval and the second class interval. That is 12 plus 18, which is equal to how much? 30. Understand? Now I am going to find out for the third class interval over here, what will be the cumulative frequency? Children, already I have 30 here. And how much more I can add from the third class interval? 23. So the already piled up frequency, which is 30, plus the frequency which I'm getting in the third class interval, which is 23. So 30 plus 23 will become what? 53. Am I adding or piling up the frequencies one after the other? Yes, and I am piling it up, right? Online students, did you all follow it?
Yes, sir.
Clear, no? Now, children, let me find out how much will be the cumulative frequency for the fourth class interval. Already how much I have? 53 is already piled up. Adding to that 53, I can get 15 more. 53 plus 15 is what? 68. All right. So first, second, third, fourth. These four class intervals has helped me to pile up a total of 68 frequencies. Now, children, for the last one, already 68 are there, and I will add 10 more frequencies to the existing 68. 68 plus 10 is what? 78. So, children, this will be your cumulative frequency distribution table, CFDT. Okay. So initially FDT will be given to you and they will ask you to create what? CFDT. So don't get panicked, children. You just need to create an extra column for cumulative frequency. And cumulative, the word meaning itself says it is piling up, piling up, piling up, isn't it? You have to go on. You're going to get it next year. Don't worry. You're going on piling up the frequencies one after the other. Easy to understand? Children, was I able to convince you guys? Okay, yeah. Partha, Mayur, everyone, no? Parents?
Yes, sir.
All right. So children, I will give you one question from my hand. Let me see how many of you will answer this. The class interval is class interval is given. What class interval it is? Continuous or discontinuous? Continuous. Very good. I'm going to give you the frequency column. 3, 9, 4, 13, 25. I want you to create a cumulative frequency distribution table. Do it fast, children. Online students can just type the answer in the chat box. Yeah. Here, the second value given to you in cumulative frequency column is what? 19. So you should know how did this transition from 8 happen to 19? How did this transition of 8 to 19 happen? It happened because 8 got added to 11. Do you agree with that? Isn't it? Cumulative frequency is what, children? You're going on piling up the frequencies, isn't it? The first cumulative frequency is 8. The second cumulative frequency is 19. How did you get that? You need to understand the background story of it. How did that 8 become 19? Children, 8 became 19 because you added 11 to 8, isn't it? So children, here, whatever value you had added, that has to be the frequency for the second place. Are you getting it? Because see, children, the first frequency is 8, cumulative frequency is 8. Now, when you add 8 and 11, you should be getting what? 19. Makes sense, no? Yeah. Now, children, let's find the third frequency. Acha, see this, huh? Here we have 23 and here we have 19. Children, how did this 19 become 23? Exactly. Children, how did this 19 become 23? Because you added 4 to 19, isn't it? So children, whatever value you added, that should be the frequency, right? See this, children, you are having 19 here. When you add 4 to 19, you are getting 23. So the answer is correct. Prajwal, is it clear? Right. Now, children, the last one is what? 30. That means there has been a transition from 23 to what? 30. And how did this transition happen? When you added 7 to 23, isn't it? So whatever value you are adding to 23, that becomes the frequency. You have a doubt, you check this. 23 plus 7 is giving you what? 30. Okay. So your frequency column should be 8, 11, 4, and 7. Understood, everyone? Okay. Fine, children. So this is enough from the first exercise. Children, did I complete the class? No, right? Sit quietly and listen to what I'm instructing. In the next session, children, I'll try to keep a 45-minute session tomorrow because we have to start with histogram. The second exercise. Histogram and frequency polygon are very easy topics, children. All right, because I just need to show the way you have to draw the graphs, and then you can just do it in your graph book. All right, the thing which you need to be having compulsorily is the graph book. Okay, keep it ready. I don't want you to come here and keep searching for graph papers. Online students also keep it ready. All right. So today, whatever we have done,
Okay,
is it
sir.
clear in your mind? Was I able to convince you in all the angles?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sir. Thank you so much for joining. Just wait for my test tomorrow afternoon. All right. I'll give you the timings. Thank you, children. Good night. God bless you all. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.